Hi guys, today I'm making a quick video on the Audi A7. It's my own car. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've currently got one key, and I've got myself a second key that I've had for about 6 months. I've just never got around to getting it programmed in. So got a bit of time today, so I thought I'd make a video of using the ZedFull to program it in. So this is the tool we'll be using today, the ZedFull. We're going to basically show you the full procedure of programming in this new key, that's the original key, into the Audi A7. The car's a 2011 in year. Yeah, so how do I get this started up? Make sure you're plugged into the OBD port down there. On the top of the ZedFull, if you've not used it before, you've got your power switch here. You've got your external ports here for additional add-ons like the voltmeter and other things. Never really use it that often. USB port for updating. LED light is literally as a torch. I don't know why you'd want to use a £4,000 bit of equipment for a torch, but it's there anyway. You've got your main power in from your OBD port from pin 16, 4 and 5. The power's from the actual OBD itself. So you always got to make sure that's in. This is additional OBD dongles. Nothing on this side. Got your main transponder aerial here, and on this side you've got your EEPROM options for when you're doing EEPROMing. In today's video, I'll just show you the OBD side of it. So let's switch the machine on. So on this Audi A7, it uses a unique key. So you've got your original Audi A7 key, which looks like this. This is a genuine key that came with the car. But the ZedFull has to program it onto a special ZedFull remote like this. You can see it looks slightly different. It's aftermarket. It's not a genuine key. It's a ZedFull special key for the A7. So the key is the key is keyless, so there's no, you can keep this in your pocket. I can start the car with the original key in the vehicle just by pressing the brake and holding down the start button. So that's currently starting up because the original key's in the vehicle. Right, so we'll get into it. We've got the OBD application. I want to make sure you've got good voltage. If it drops below 12 volts or 12.5 volts, then I'd want to make sure I put a battery support unit on to bring that voltage up, because you can get programming issues if it's not got the good voltage above 12 volts. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down to Volkswagen Audi group. So these are manufacturers it's covering. Very good on Renault. Does quite a few things on Renault. Volkswagen Audi group. So it wants the ignition on. So what I'm going to do is just turn the ignition on by pressing this. There you go. So ignition on with push button start cars. Sometimes it's a bit confusing what is ignition on, because you get your different stages of ignition. Move the steering wheel that way. Always look for your fuel gauge and temperature gauge. So if I press the start button, they go off. If I press it again, nothing again. Press it again, there we go, it's gone on. So sometimes you do have to press it a few times to get to the actual ignition, but just always make sure you got your fuel gauge and lights on the dash, and that'll mean you're on. Alright, so ignition on, press OK. It's detected it as Audi. Select the vehicle from the list. So this is an Audi A7. So I'm going to go down to Audi A7. Press continue. So it's asking, is it OEM key? Which it isn't. is it Aftermarket Key, which it is. So I'm going to go with Aftermarket Key. I need to make sure, I've never used this programming before on this one, IEA emulator. Basically, what that could be is this key emulating as a genuine key, or it might actually be an additional function. So I'm going to go down as Aftermarket Key because that's what it is. If it does fail, I'll come back out and go in as a IEA emulator. IEA is a company that make the ZedFull. So it says this key isn't supported, so then by default it's definitely not a genuine key. It doesn't support aftermarket keys. It only supports the ZedFull emulated copy aftermarket key as such. So we'll go with IEA emulator. So it's not all keys lost because I've got my current working key. So I'm just want it to add a key. Switch ignition on, just make sure it is on, which it is. So press OK. Connection OK, retrieving data. So it's retrieving data from the vehicle. So handbrakes going on and off, lots of warning messages on there. Don't worry about that, that's because it's accessing the systems. So precode transponder key, to precode transponder press yes. If transponder is already precoded, press no. So this key isn't precoded to this VIN number, to this vehicle yet. So I'm going to pop this into the actual slot here and then press yes, because I want it to precode the transponder. If you don't know what precoding is, as you probably know, we do training courses. We teach people all about precoding, all the in-depth types of programming that there is, EPROMing, soldering, lockpicking, everything. We do that all in our training courses. I'm going to assume that you know what that is and you're using ZedFull already. Pop this in and press yes. So it's going to use 30 tokens to do the precoding, which is fine. So you've got 120 credits at the moment. Part of the precoding must be read from a working key. If working key is not available, program key may not start the vehicle. Okay. So we've got to put the actual working key in the antennae. So it's going to read some precoded information off here. So pop that in and press continue. So it's getting almost there. There we are. So put the transponder to be programmed into the ZedFull antennae. So I'm going to take this one out now, because it's read the precoding from the original key. I'm going to get the new key, this one, pop it into the aerial, and press continue. So it's precoding transponder. Successful. It's writing the precoding information that it's gathered from the key, the original key, to the new key. And that's it, done. Precode written. Would you like to precode another transponder? Nope. I only got this one key I want to add. So it's now retrieved some information from the car to program the Audi key. So we're going to press OK. It's going to use 10 more tokens. So it's took me down to 90 so far. All existing keys will be deleted. Start programming with working keys first if they exist. So I'm going to drop this out of here, get the working key and press continue. Type the total amount of keys to be programmed, which is, I use a little stylus for this, number 2. Some of these buttons are too small, hard to get pressed. Retrieving information, connection OK. If a car has a key slot, which this vehicle doesn't, if you do have a key slot, like on the A4s and stuff like that, they'll be around here in this area, but this one doesn't. Put it into the slot one by one. If your car has no key slot, which is this vehicle, hold the key close to the antennae on the mid console and press the stop start button for both both types of cars while programming each key. Check the program key count on the cluster. So on the cluster where the mileage will be, it will say 1 of 2 or 2 of 2. After completing programming, press continue before you leave programming mode. So what that means is, let's drop this down here. See, you've got learning mode down here, your mileage. You've got learning mode, this is, and it's 0 keys have been added, and there's 2 to be added in total. So 0 of 2. Once I've programmed the first key, which I'm going to start with a working key, it will go learning mode 1 of 2, then 2 of 2, and then it'll be finished. The programming pad on the console is this here. You might see this on some vehicles. On your Range Rovers and other vehicles, it's going to be down here. Some Mitsubishis, it can be in the glove box. Some other cars, it can be down here. We give you information on the courses and all that and how to find these points. They're quite obvious on some of them, like this one. So that's what it's saying. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a working key, which is this one. I'm going to put it near here, press the stop start button until that goes from L3 0/2 to L3 1/2. So I'm just going to pause that because I need 2 hands to put this in place and press the start button at the same time. Right, so I've just programmed that one in. As you can see now, take this out here. So that now says L3 1/2. So it's programmed in the first key. What I'll do, this is the second key. I'm going to hold this next to the slot. Let's try and do it in one go so you can see it. Hold that near the slot. Press the start button. So I'm going to switch it off. Press it on. It says not recognised. See 2 of 2 now, it says. So what I've done there is holding this in place and pressing the start button on and off. I've got it to the point where it says learn mode 2/2. So both keys are now added. After completing programming, press continue to leave program mode. So I'm going to press continue. Successful. End of procedure. Turn off ignition and then press continue. It's going to turn the ignition off. So that's gone off. Press continue. That's it. So what I'm going to do lastly, let's move this out of the way. Turn this off. Always unplug the USB before you start starting the vehicle and testing it fully. So yeah, we've got to make sure that it's come out of programming mode when we switch the ignition on. I'm going to take these keys out of the vehicle and bring one at a time. Just going to pop. I put the working key on my van there and just go in with the new key because this one definitely wasn't programmed before. Foot on the brake. I can keep this anywhere in the vehicle. Push button start. This should hold it next to it. There we go. Yeah, so that's started up with the original. I'll just check the remote locking. Yeah, so that's working. You can see from the hazards there that it's all working. And I'll just check that the other key is still working. So this is the original key. That's it. So that's all up and running as well. So I've tried to do this as much as I can in one take. It's hard to do that with only 2 hands. Using the ZedFull, it's a very good programmer. I'm not too keen on it in some points. The problem I have with this programmer is, say for instance, you're going to a job, you can't really see what it can and can't do. I'm going to make some videos about this ZedFull program and the disadvantages and advantages of it. When we get people on a training course, we're telling about all the tools that are out there, the newest, some of the best things, but this gets in the category of, even though it isn't, it's not very good at all. And some of the stuff that nobody hears of, all the different bits of equipment are covered in the course. And one of the biggest functions, the biggest benefits of the training course with us is that the amount of money that you're going to save on equipment. If you look on the brochure for this tool and you read what it says, it gets called ZedFull. And on paper, it's a very, very, very good tool, and most people would buy this machine. In day-to-day use, even though it's worked perfectly fine on this Audi A7, there's a lot of disadvantages and pitfalls with this machine, which we cover. So if you want to know more about tools, more about equipment, training, soldering, lockpicking and locksmithing in general, check out our website. We're based here in the UK, run a course every month, so check out our website, theobdcompany.co.uk. Check out our reviews. We've got reviews online of previous students, and if you're interested in this market, then we're happy to teach you and show you the way. Thank you.